19 of the world's craziest publicity stunts. Number 19. Rejoice Comb. Bangkok, Thailand's capital and most populated city, has notoriously messy, tangled power lines. Consumer goods giant Procter & Gamble hilariously took advantage of this problem in ads for one of their products, a hair conditioner called Rejoice, presenting a not-so-possible solution to the headache. People living in the area likely weren't very amused. Number 18. A giant mistake. Nationwide Insurance created this huge, elaborate advertisement in June 2007. It's not the first dramatic wallscape the company has created. They also unveiled Miracles at Play at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio in February of 2011. Number 17. Whiteout crosswalks. So that's how they make those white stripes for crosswalks. FedEx clearly fooled some passersby that this was the case when they very intentionally left an oversized bottle of Whiteout on a busy city street. Number 16. Street food. The Israeli Food Bank wanted to remind everyone of a very cruel reality. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis live in hunger every single day, and they wanted to do so in an amusing way. So they used street sewer grates as kitchen dish dryers, putting plates in seemingly any grates they could find. Each plate had the simple but powerful message: too many people eat on the street. Apparently, the marketing ploy worked, as the organization reported an increase in donations and visitors to their website following the campaign. Number 15. Moscow's huge billboard. Reports have it that this billboard in Moscow measured 1.5 square acres, making it the biggest ad in Russia. Those cars stuck to the side of the poster were full-size BMWs, and their front and rear lights would turn on at night. Number 14. What's for dinner? It's easy for people to miss billboards while they're driving along. They have more important things to pay attention to, namely what's directly in front of them. Old Timer, a giant chain of rest stops in Austria, came up with a way to solve this problem when they slung giant faces onto the entrance of this tunnel. Incoming drivers definitely won't miss the fact that they're about to be eaten by a giant face. Number 13. Sea slurping. Mondo Pasta, makers of traditional Italian recipes, came up with this slightly disturbing but awesome ad. They slapped slurping faces on the sides of boats in Hamburg, Germany, with the rope coming out of their mouths representing pasta strands. Number 12. The McWhopper. In 2015, Burger King was ready to call a temporary truce with their biggest and most dominant rival, McDonald's. The fast food restaurant's advertising department came up with a great publicity stunt to operate one restaurant for one day that would be a Burger King McDonald's mashup. The restaurant would be staffed by employees from both restaurants and would have sold the McWhopper, a blend of the Big Mac and Whopper. It would have happened on September 21st, Peace Day, and the McWhopper would have been sold in Atlanta, Georgia. Unfortunately, McDonald's didn't dig the whole truce idea and decided to decline the opportunity. Number 11. The Tour de France. Many will be stunned to hear that the Tour de France originated from a well-orchestrated publicity stunt. In response to poor circulation, journalist Gilles Lefebvre of the newspaper Le Auto blurted out the idea for a Tour de France during a crisis meeting. His boss, Henry Desgrange, took the thought and ran with it, organizing the first tour in 1903. This first event was a resounding success and became one of the single most popular sporting events that today is broadcast to hundreds of countries around the world. Number 10. Float It Down the Thames. To promote Michael Jackson's new album History, Past, Present, and Future, Sony built several 30-foot-tall statues of the pop icon in 1995. One was made of wood and plaster and placed atop the Los Angeles Tower record shop. Europe, however, saw the most astounding version of this promotion. 10 steel and fiberglass statues were built and placed around Europe, most notably when one floated down the Thames River. The Michael Jackson History sculpture would become the basis for the cover image of the album, and a punchline amongst public relations and advertising brainstorming sessions. Float It Down the Thames became a frequently fielded response when no better ideas were forthcoming. Number 9. Viral campaigning. Despite its meager budget, the Blair Witch Project became a major success, raking in over $150 million at box offices. Movie producers and promoters, it turns out, were largely responsible for this huge initial prosperity. They circulated tapes to colleges that were billed as real video diary footage, becoming one of the first feature films to use viral content to build hype. Number 8. The Burj Al Arab helipad. Several promotions have been filmed on the helipad of the Burj Al Arab. Tiger Woods practiced his tee shots from the pad before the 2004 Dubai Desert Golf Classic. Andre Agassi and Roger Federer got the opportunity to play a match on the structure during the build-up to the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships in 2005. Estimates say that both tournaments, which have since soared in popularity, owe much of their success to these wildly successful publicity stunts. Number 7. The Taco Liberty Bell. Fast food chain Taco Bell pulled off one of the most hilarious April Fool's Day pranks and publicity stunts of all time. On April 1st, 1996, the company took out a full-page ad in 6 major newspapers claiming it had purchased the historically significant Liberty Bell, and apparently taking supposed liberties of their own, reported that they had renamed it the Taco Liberty Bell. Luckily, they said that they planned on leaving it on display. National Park Services employees could attest as to how many people were fooled by the elaborate prank. They were inundated with thousands of calls seeing if their famous national monument had been sold. Number 6. LifeLock guy gets jacked. LifeLock founder and CEO Todd Davis decided to show just how effective his company was by publishing his social security number on LifeLock's website and billboards. inviting anyone to try to steal his identity. After a short amount of time, his ploy had seemed to work. By June 2007, only one person appeared to have successfully used his identity when they obtained a $500 loan from a check cashing company. Unfortunately, time told a different story. By 2010, Davis had been the victim of an additional 12 identity thefts. One perpetrator had opened an AT&T account using his social security number and racked up $2,390 in unpaid charges. Despite the fact that the publicity stunt went horribly wrong, LifeLock continues to protect millions of people's identities to this day. Number 5. The Quicker Picker-Upper. Popular paper towel company Bounty employed Rex Covington and LA Ice Art to create the spectacular 7-foot, 550-pound real popsicle, which they transported and left on the street to melt, creating a huge mess that they would of course come back and clean, presumably with a bunch of paper towels. Number 4. Guinness Litters. As part of an advertising campaign for Guinness Foreign Extra Stout and the company's 200th anniversary, beer maker Guinness decided to drop a ridiculous amount of messages in a bottle into the Atlantic Ocean. 150,000 to be exact. The bottles contain messages for turning the bottle into a lamp, a beer label, and oddly enough, a full-page Ovaltine advertisement. Bottles still turn up from time to time, even over a half-century after their initial release, making it technically one of the longest-running ad campaigns of all time. Number 3. Imperial Stars. Los Angeles freeways are notoriously busy, and traffic jams are a daily occurrence. Little-known rock band Imperial Stars decided to add to the congestion and frustration by blocking the street with a huge box truck and performing an impromptu concert as part of an ill-conceived publicity stunt. They also placed a sign on top of the truck as an effort to raise awareness to child homelessness. Motorists were stunned and angered by the sight, and initially the stunt got the band what they wanted. The story made national news cycles. Eventually, however, the insane act would prove to be an epic failure. 3 members of the band were ordered to pay $39,000 to the California Department of Transportation. And can you name a song by Imperial Stars? We couldn't either. Number 2. The Billowing Skirt Shot. Though it has long been reported that a passing train accidentally caused what would turn into one of the most famous pictures of Marilyn Monroe ever, the photograph was actually one big stunt. Opportunistic movie publicists thought it would be a good idea to hide a wind machine beneath the street grate before photographers arrived for the shoot, creating one of the best, though least reported publicity stunts of all time. Number 1. Branson, a publicity genius. Part of what makes Richard Branson so freaking rich is his amazing and insane publicity stunts. On the early morning of April 1st, 1989, the billionaire purchased a custom hot air balloon shaped like a UFO to fly over London. Authorities and bystanders alike chased the UFO to its landing spot, Surrey Field. Once surrounded, a midget, also hired by Branson, emerged from the balloon in full alien costume, completing a ruse that police were none too amused with. When British Airways had problems erecting the London Eye, Branson arranged for a branded airship to fly over the site with a hilarious, tongue-in-cheek message for his fierce rival.